Good morning. It's hump day with the trifecta. We got sports and fitness rants in the house along with Skap Attack. Good morning, gentlemen.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, man? I am happy to be here. You know, I'm not just going to say hi. I got to come in like I always come in because it's the first time that we've done this. My man's daughter video footage has honored me once again by allowing me to come on here, and I'm once again blessed with Skap Attack. It's the first time we're doing this, man. So, yes, I'm happy to be here, guys.
Yes, indeed. The first time, much demanded. Hey, we've got some breaking news. Skap Attack has also been in the modeling world, and I found a couple of his old movies. Did you know that Skap was in Nowhere to Run? Van Damme.
That's one of my favorite movies.
and he also had screen time with Dennis Rodman back in '96. What was it like?
Look at that pic. My goodness. Damn.
You haven't aged a bit.
That's a thirst trap on here, guys. If this wasn't like 98% male audience, hey, not that there's anything wrong with that guy. I mean, I'm sure the men kind of like the looks of that picture too. Yeah, I mean, you're thirst trapping the audience this early on into the cast. That, my goodness, that is ice cold. Angry old hoops, ice cold.
Yes, Claude Van Damme as your stunt double. That's crazy.
Oh, hey, what do you guys got coming up this week? Anything special that you want to tell viewers to look out for?
Well, I actually just dropped. I was up late last night working on a video, which is why I'm actually still in bed, just to get it even thirstier in here, guys. I'm in bed right now. So, because I was up so late working on a video. I've done a lot of shit talking on the commish lately. Silver, the fraud commissioner that has helped run the league into the ground. But I felt like I needed to disperse some of the blame for the shit show that we just saw in All-Star Weekend and really shift the blame back to the parties that really deserve it, which is the players primarily, because we wouldn't have to be resorting to these insane tactics if not for the players and the lack of their effort and desire to compete in the game. So, and the whole weekend, honestly, as a whole. So I put something up today, which was about that, basically evenly dispersing the blame pie to the players that I think most are deserving of that blame for where we're at right now.
Evenly dispersing. It's funny to hear you say that because I saw your latest garbage. Listen to me. Take Steph Curry's name out of your mouth and at the least stop putting his face next to LeBron James's. That's as disrespectful as LeBron James having his face painted next to Martin Luther King Jr.'s inside of his own school. That's like comparing a guy who got in a bar fight to a serial killer when you put Steph Curry in the same guilt category as LeBron James. He's guilty of things, but my God, man, you're putting him next to LeBron James?
Now look, first of all, go watch the video. It's like 11 and a half minutes. I'm sure you do. You just saw the thumbnail and you're criticizing me on the thumbnail. But listen.
How did Paul George escape? How did Paul George not make it into that video?
Here's the thing. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, proverbial speaking. I know LeBron is the fake king, the self-proclaimed fake king. But I just mean in terms of with great powers comes great responsibility, to steal a little saying out of one of my favorite comic books growing up. And look, LeBron say what you will. I hate LeBron, but say what you will. When Kobe was ceding power in like 2010, 2011, LeBron was coming on the swing, coming up to take over the league. So when I look at 2010 to 2020, which is, I think that was the era of LeBron. Again, I don't think he's not in my top 5 all time. I don't think he's in the GOAT conversation, but he was, in whichever way you want to slice it, he was, objectively speaking, the best player of that decade era. So if there was a foil to him, inevitably, his foe, if you will, during that span of time was Steph Curry. They were the two best players in that time frame. And it was that era that wrecked the league. It was that era of player that destroyed the NBA that got us into this shit where we're at right now. Now, is Steph Curry as bad as LeBron James? Of course not, because LeBron James did it first. So like LeBron James went to these ridiculous tactics and these seedy, underhanded, mercenary type, ring chasing, cowardly, buffoonish, destroy the league type things. But Steph Curry had an opportunity at that point to stand up and say, no, you need to do what you need to do with your super teams. Awesome. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it the right way. And for whatever reason, Steph Curry doesn't get lumped in with LeBron. Kevin Durant does. Steph Curry escapes it, I think, because Curry stayed in Golden State for his whole career. But that doesn't vindicate him from the fact that he was a unanimous league MVP. The only ever. There's only been one unanimous MVP in NBA history, Steph Curry. And he threw up all over himself in the NBA Finals. He became the first and still only player ever to choke a 3-1 lead away in an NBA Finals series. He did it in a season where his team won 73 regular season games, all-time record, and he was the unanimous league MVP. Now, what he did in that summer, like 2 weeks after he lost that series, is he boarded a plane in Golden State and flew across the country.
Okay, I'm going to mute you.
And grovel to Kevin Durant to come and join up with him. Okay,
You've
so he didn't beat LeBron. He joined LeBron. Congratulations, AOH. He built a better super team than LeBron. Okay, that's the only thing I'll give Steph Curry. He's smarter and more clever at team building and stacking super teams. But if you want me to give him some kind of a pass and praise him and say, oh, well, he's the anti-LeBron. No, he's part of the damn problem, which is why his little mug was on that thumbnail today on that video that I put out, because those two guys authored the destruction of the league from 2010 to 2020. It was a co-authoring. Maybe LeBron's top billing, fine. But Steph Curry,
so Skap managed to take my criticism of his video and make it an even longer take a shit on Steph Curry segment. We're going to come back to that, but you know what? Let's greet some of these viewers who are already in the comments. Already have a super chat. Even the Sports Prophet says that shouldn't we blame Adam Silver altogether? If you notice they aren't competing hard, don't guarantee them money. If you only you guys took calls not during work hours. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever watched our channels before, Adam Silver definitely does not escape our criticism. Not even close. It's hard to say. It's a chicken or the egg to me. You know,
there's an old saying, AOH,
yeah,
all right?
go.
And everybody out there, there's an old saying that goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. All right. So no matter what we say about Adam Silver being in quote unquote in charge of the NBA and, you know, it's on him. It's like Skap was saying, like we've been saying, it's ultimately the players' responsibilities, man. If I can just touch on what you guys were talking about with the Steph Curry thing, we got a little bit off the rails there for a second. But if we can rewind it back to the Steph Curry, LeBron James, and this thing, and this related to the current All-Star game. And I think what AOH is alluding to, Skap, you know, in the moment, let's think about the current All-Star game and what just happened. What did LeBron James do? LeBron James did LeBron James stuff, right? He was a late scratch from the All-Star game, which prohibited the NBA from really getting a replacement for him. So he did what LeBron James does. He made it all about himself. Congratulations, LeBron James. But what did Steph Curry do, though? Steph Curry actually was there. He actually showed up, which is the complete opposite of LeBron James. He actually showed for the All-Star game. Thank you, Steph Curry, for showing up. You are absolutely right, Skap. Those are the guys that need to take responsibility. We talked about that the other day. All of those guys, James Harden, Damian Lillard, all the guys that have been out, Kevin Durant, they all need to take responsibility. But what did Steph Curry do? He went out there and actually put on a show for the people out there in the Bay Area, man. He did what Steph Curry does. He shoots those threes from half court. He does those things, and he won an MVP out there. Now, whether he got home cooking and robbed it from Jason Tatum, I heard some whispers out there, is irrelevant. Once again, Damian Lillard robbed Tyrese Halliburton last season. That's why they booed him. Steph Curry got a round of applause. They cheered for Steph Curry because he went out there and did. So what did he do? He saved the embarrassment of LeBron James, who didn't show up, who went out there in street clothes. The man got announced in street clothes. Like, dude, you're a cornball, man. And then you took pictures in the street clothes with these guys. That's the opposite of Steph Curry and what he did. And to me, it was similar to what Steph Curry did in the Olympics for LeBron James, when he went out there and actually put on a show and saved the Olympic team and saved LeBron James once again. But he didn't get the MVP for that time, got in the All-Star game.
I have a series of questions that I'm going to throw at both of you today. So we're going to try and be more disciplined and have our responses be concise so that we can actually get through each of them. Skap, you see any comments that you'd like to respond to? Anyone you want to give a shout out to before I go back to my list here?
No, AOH, but I know you're jealous of my good looks. You're always bringing it up. And it's obviously there's some contentious points here, I think. So, but please, think of the viewers. Stop covering my face with these chats. Come on now. Come on. You want to cover that up for the viewers? I mean, what's going on here?
There you go. You're up. There you go. We'll cover me.
Hey, cover with the time and the live.
Appreciate it.
I know how good looking I am. I'm not LeBron James. I don't have to fish for compliments. I mean, when you put a some sort of I don't know, were you and Gilbert Arenas at a photo shoot together the day that you made that thumbnail on your video? Who had the better makeup crew, you or Gil?
I'm trying to think. I think I might have been in Europe. I think I was in Scotland for that picture. Actually, if the picture
how people just look in Scotland,
yes,
in the distance.
Yeah, I was like at a castle in the Highlands, gazing off into the distance, a little pensive look there. It seemed like it worked with the thumbnail. What could I say?
Blue steel.
Oh, this works. That works, baby.
Blue steel. Zoolander.
Oh no, he's not giving us the blue steel. He's not. That's to come.
He's giving the what is it from a Jumanji? Smoldering, Bravestone. He's smoldering.
Okay, so let's do my first point. My first discussion of the day. If there had been no change, obviously the new format got crapped on. Here's my question to you guys. If there had been no change and they just ran back what they did last year, how would it have gone? Skap, you're first.
I think it would have been better than what they actually produced. It was so bad. I mean, it wasn't even, the play style wasn't great. I mean, there was a couple, like Wembanyama got a couple blocks. There was a couple moments like there was a moment where Wembanyama was isolated against Kyrie Irving, and that was kind of like a cool moment. Like Wembanyama gave the effort. I think he forced him to a miss, even though Kyrie kind of had him on skates though for a while in that possession. But I think the general maybe defensive effort was slightly better. But I mean, there were still like uncontested layups. There were still guys not getting back. There were still long uncontested threes. There were absurdly deep threes. I mean, it just didn't have the feel of an actual game. Like I remember back in the day where like it's crazy to me that there is no alpha mentality in the NBA today. Now, I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but like this premise of alpha has been almost reduced in society in general. Like there's no such thing as an alpha mentality anymore, an alpha dog. It's almost like a negative thing these days. You would think the last bastion where you still would have this premise, these like big personalities would be in professional sports. So it used to be when like the best of the best got together in the NBA All-Star game. Well, like those dudes were like, well, I want to prove that I am the best of all of them. Like it would bring out an extra level of competitiveness. It was like freaking Top Gun basically of basketball. Like that's what it is. That's what it's supposed to be. And yet somehow we've gotten to this point where nobody wants to play hard. They don't want to embarrass or show up each other or whatever. Like it's humiliating. I mean, I think so. To answer your question, it would have likely been what it was last year. Like people jogging up and down the court trying to score 200 points. But I think it would have been better than what we ultimately got because we wouldn't have had 30-minute stoppages in between 10 minutes of basketball to have Mr. Beast doing 3-point shootouts with some dude out of the stands and Kevin Hart working on his next stand-up gig. Like it was just so off-putting. Like
Okay.
what they
Like I
came
said,
up with.
like I said, I'm going to try and make us disciplined today. We got to get Robin on that. I'm going to summarize for people. So, what was that? 10 minutes ago, I think that your answer was that it would have. I'm just kidding. I think that your answer was that it would have been better if they would have just stuck with last year's format. I've seen quite a few people actually say that this year was a little bit better. And Robin, I actually think you even said it was a little bit better, with the caveat that that's not saying much. Better or worse if they had just done the same thing as last year? Go.
So yes, I'm gonna. No, so yeah, like you said, I think the sad reality is that this All-Star game was better. I think like Skap was really alluding to that it was a little bit better, but like I said, that's not saying much. You know, if you look at the game overall, there were 88 threes taken out of like 170 something shots. So there were almost 50% shots were threes. So that's still a problem we talked about. Like Skap was mentioning, the competitiveness was down. The East versus West would have been great for the fans. For the fans, I did not watch this All-Star game or every minute. I skimmed through it. I watched a little bit here and there. Last year, I literally watched every minute because I wanted to see if the East versus West format coming back was going to bring back the competitiveness with these guys. Because like you guys were mentioning, what we want to see is a rivalry. We want to see these guys take some pride, like Skap was saying, the best go against the best. AOH, you inspired me to go back and watch some old All-Star games. And I literally spent the entire night last night watching the 1991 All-Star game and part of this morning watching the 1993 All-Star game. And my goodness, man, once again, you're talking about shot clock violations, guys blocking shots, guys knocking each other down, guys out there giving the hustle. And you hear guys talking on defense. You see guys sweating. You see the screechers squeaking. So I think the East versus West would be great for the fans. So I think they should always keep it that way. So I don't know if it's going to be better, but they should always keep it East versus West.
Right. Okay. So the reason I brought it up is I'm a little bit surprised that anyone would think that running back the same format as last year was going to be better, because these 40-point games were pretty unbearable to me. And I'd also like to point out that of the three, the final match was the worst. So these guys are not bringing that competitive edge. I'll agree with you. There's no alpha. There's no alpha attitude.
Real quick, and I'll let you go back. Look, whatever. These are professional athletes. They should be better, whatever. But the first two, the team that played, the international guys played the first game. So then they sat for like an hour after playing like 10 minutes. Then they had to try to get warm again. And whereas the other team, the old head team, they played the second game. So they were more like warmed up and ready to go. And then, so it's like 11-1 real quick. And then they take another 20-minute break. It was just a ridiculous format.
Yeah. I said in my Raw breakdown that's in the member section, I was like, well, this is how guys are going to get hurt. You played 11-1 and then took another half an hour break. You need to go, you all needed to be on the bikes like Rodman used to do, before you get back out on the court. But if I recall on the Sunday live, before we even watched this, you pointed out that you thought that the OGs had the easiest schedule lined up, which would have benefited LeBron. LeBron didn't play. Nevertheless, it benefited the OGs, which, maybe that was in the script. This is actually a question I'm going to ask you later, whether or not it was rigged for the OGs to win no matter what. But I've got to finish my thought because, part of your attack on Steph Curry was blaming him, and other people have blamed him for the new format. Here's the thing. At least he tried to be creative because it's fucked. The All-Star game's fucked. As long as we've got these guys out there, and that final showdown is going to be as pathetic as it was. I mean, guys, they only went to 40, and I remember noting the score is already a blowout. When you're leading by double digits and you're only going to 40, that's pretty hard to be that bad to get blown out when you're only going to 40. So I'm going to go ahead and defend Steph and be like, this is a losing situation. What can we possibly do to make it a little bit more entertaining? And a lot of people are saying that not wanting to get embarrassed by the youngsters actually forced a little bit more competition. So from that perspective, it actually worked a little bit. Now, again, it's all garbage. I also have been watching the old games instead. And last night, YouTube encouraged me to watch the 2004 finals. And I remember when Shaq went to the bench, the Pistons went on an 8-0 run, solidifying the fact that Kobe rode Shaq. But I had to slip that in there.
Can I say something,
Okay,
man, about what you just said?
Go.
All right, so when you're talking about the Steph Curry thing, and listen, like I said, I'm right there with you, man. I feel you what you're saying. But what you're really doing is you're really highlighting what Skap is talking about, because right there in that moment, Adam Silver's going to Steph Curry for quote unquote advice on the All-Star game. You know what Steph Curry tells Adam Silver in that moment? Behind closed doors in a public forum, I don't give a damn where he tells him. Listen, my man, you grab him by his head, you grab him by his tie, whatever, you grab him, you bring him in close, and you tell him, listen, man, we are the problem. We're going to figure this out internally. Keep it East versus West, and I'll go talk to the rest of these fools out here, man, and we're going to come out here, and we're going to give y'all a show, man. Don't worry about it. That's what he really needed to tell Adam Silver in that moment, and that's what I think Skap is talking about. That's what we're all talking about. The players have the power, guys. They're the ones requesting trades. They're the problem. These are the idiots that are not playing, and you wonder why they're not playing, because of soreness or because, someone talked about them online. Like, it's ridiculous, man. The dude lost his cell service last night. He couldn't get any Robux. Like, it's an absolute joke that these guys don't want to show up. It's on them. That's what Steph Curry could have did in that moment. He had it right there. Now, I'm not blaming him for changing the format, but that's what he could have done, man.
But I love how Adam Silver, it's Steph Curry's job to fix what Adam Silver did. And LeBron James, the face of the league, even during all of this, LeBron James is getting to be called the face of the league. What does he do? He shows up. Where was he telling Adam Silver to get at his shit together? Where was he? He didn't even bother to play. He didn't even have the decency to respect other players that would have had the opportunity to play that night.
No, but AOH.
And that's why, like I was saying earlier, and I was saying with Skap, I'll never put Steph Curry and LeBron James. I'm not putting them on the level anymore. I said in my live stream, I did my own live stream the other day, and I told everybody at the end of that thing, I'm putting Steph Curry above LeBron James all time. I don't give a damn what anyone says anymore. I'm done with this clown. You don't show for the All-Star game in the last minute, and it's like Steph Curry got to go out there and save you and do something for the people out there in the Bay Area. He got to bring some life to this nonsense. Like you said earlier, LeBron James is supposed to be the face and takes no ownership, no responsibility, man. Steph Curry at least is taking responsibility, takes ownership. Everyone put heat on him. No one puts heat. Remember, they always say LeBron James needs help, but we never hear them say that Steph Curry needs some help too, or any of these other guys.
I think it is incumbent on the guy, whoever is going to be that person. I don't know that he's even in the league right now, but there needs to come a guy that, and it's going to be a unique player. It's going to be a special player that has to be a great overall player, that has to be a great defender, a willing defender, and then also have that elite high-end competitiveness. Like, you have to have someone that's complete, that has that complete and total packaging, that comes along and says, I'm the one. I'm the one. Like, if you guys want to jog up and down and laugh and slap each other on the ass and have a good time, do it. But that's not me. I'm here to humiliate you all. I'm here to embarrass you all. I'm here to show the whole world that I'm the best, that I'm above you. Like, does anyone want to stand in my way? That's what it's going to take. That was the mentality of the others before. And that's what it's going to take to get it back. And I don't know if that person's in the league right now. I honestly don't. There are great players who are willing defenders like Victor Wembanyama and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They looked all right last night or Sunday night. They looked all right. They didn't have what I was looking for, though, what I was expecting to see from one of them. So, like, I think we're still looking. And we're going to need that special person to come around and to fix it and to change it. And it's going to be that one person, AOH. So to answer your question, yeah, like, it is kind of on Steph Curry, but he passed. He punted on it. He didn't want the responsibility, obviously, because he didn't do any of that shit ever at any point of his career. In 2017, when he has 2 recent MVPs and they won 2 championships, he laid down in the middle of the court on a fast break and let Giannis run over him and dunk. You think that's funny or amusing? It's not. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. Like, I don't care. You're 6'2", whatever, 6'3", 185. Compete. Like it's
I
just,
know that you, and I know that you included that in your video this morning, but but what were we going to do? Be fooled that the whole game wasn't a joke prior to him doing that? If anything, that's Steph embracing the fact that it is a joke, and he might as well make it even embrace that. No, I mean, what was the score at that point? I mean, nobody was playing defense. At least he embraced the fact that it is a joke. And again, I'm not defending it, but it's just amazing how he is being picked out as doing this. And the Warriors made one free agency trade that was within the rules of the NBA. When LeBron James has manipulated the league in a mercenary fashion his entire career, again, they made one good move and it made sense and it worked. And it wasn't the better super team. They just won.
You're saying bringing Kevin Durant was they made one move. Are you out of your mind with that? The three best players in that decade were LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. Steph Curry beats LeBron in 14, loses to him in 15, and his answer is, oh, well, I better go get the next best player 16 in the league other than me or LeBron. Like, that is pitiful. Like, that is honestly, look, LeBron, coward, mercenary, ring chaser. We all knew that. But the thing that really destroyed that decade was when Curry did it too. When Curry and Durant did it too, because then the total balance was destroyed. We had 4 straight years of LeBron versus Steph in the finals because it wasn't about who's the better player of the two. It's who could build the bigger super team. Like, so uncompelling, so pitiful. And we're still trying to rebound from it. Still.
So let's say that that they don't follow suit and they don't make a piece to counter LeBron's moves. You've just given LeBron more mercenary championships. You don't think that would have destroyed the league even further?
Or Steph could actually be the one. Steph could step up and win the series. He could outplay LeBron. He could use the pieces he had around him and win the series. And then I would look at Steph Curry. If he did that, then I would look at Steph Curry and be like, definitely a top 10 player. Undeniably. Definitely better than LeBron. No question. But instead I have to sit here and say, well, maybe, I probably might have him above LeBron. Maybe. Neither of them really belong in the top 10 in my estimation, though, because they didn't do it the right way. And people can talk about, oh, well, Curry's 2022 ring. Whatever. Like, Andrew Wiggins came on. He was an all-star. Like, Andrew Wiggins had the best year of his career in that 2022 ring run. He was an all-star that year. He was great in the finals that year, and they lucked out on the run. They got completely lucky. Jokic, they got Jokic in the first round, and guess what? Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray were out for the entire playoffs that year. Congratulations on beating Jokic without his 2 best players. Other than him. They then move in and they were getting worked by Memphis. Memphis was going to beat them, and then John Morant predictably gets hurt. He only played 3 games in that series. John Morant busted Curry's ass when he was on the floor in that series. Another lucky break that he misses 3 games. Then who do they get in the finals? Luka Doncic, young Luka Doncic in the Western Conference Finals. That was their run to get into the East that year with an all-star in Wiggins and still a very I would say, upper echelon level player in Clay. So you have that team, and then of course the Celtics just do what the Celtics were doing back then, barf all over themselves. So congrats. They got that 2022 ring. They got the 2014 ring when, again, they got a lucky Western Conference run. And then, look, I hate LeBron. LeBron would have won that championship. If Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving don't both get hurt basically in game 1, they came in, Love was already out. Kyrie got hurt in the beginning stages of game 1. The Warriors were still down in that series 2-1 with just LeBron and I think Matthew Dellavedova was their second best player. So kudos Curry fans. Kudos all of you Curry riders out there right now on here. You jock sniffers that are coming for me right now. Congrats on the 2014 and 2022 luck rings. You got those. But guess what? The other 2 with Durant are pure ass, just like LeBron's garbage 4. Okay? So take that to the bank, and you can keep Steph Curry the hell out of my top 10 list.
So your argument really was proving that Steph Curry isn't one of the best. Neither was Clay. And you want only the Warriors to compete with pure draft picks. Only the Warriors are the only team in the league that have to stick to competing with pure draft picks, while the rest of the league makes massive moves.
That's not true. LeBron changed the dynamic of it. I was looking.
And you're mad that the Warriors did it once.
I was looking for a great player to stand in the way of LeBron and do it the right way, and instead he just did it the same way.
How is Kevin Durant the third best player at that time, as you said, when he allowed the Warriors to make an epic comeback against him?
You could make a case that Durant was better than Steph at the time. Honestly,
well, maybe, except for an epic choke.
And then Steph did an epic choke the next series. They both blew 3-1 leads.
Listen, I would have actually rather the Warriors not. If I had known that that's what was going to happen in the finals, I would have rather the Warriors not even get there.
I think the Thunder honestly would have beaten the Cavs. I really do.
I have to move on to the next topic because we're trying to be more disciplined. Let's see. Rigged for the OGs or not? Once again, unfortunately, this is still going to talk about Steph Curry because was it part of the script? You know, you're going to give Steph Curry the MVP at this All-Star game. And considering how meaningless All-Star games are, it would have been a lot better to give Steph the Olympic MVP that he also deserved rather than this MVP. Does anyone give a shit about All-Star game MVPs anymore? Anyways, was it rigged from the beginning? Was any other team ever going to be allowed to win except for the OGs, considering how the OGs continue to be who the NBA promotes and not the new stars? Robin, you go first this time.
I don't know. I'll be honest, man. I don't like using the word rigged, man, in sports, man. I frequently, I don't think I ever used that word on my channel.
Scripted?
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think LeBron James not being there actually helped them. I think that is true because once again, he doesn't play a team game. You know, he would have been out there goofing the game up. So I think him not being there actually helped that team win.
Yeah. Okay, Skap.
I don't think it was necessarily rigged. I mean, they got the far easier first game. Like they played the sophomore and rookie guys, like the Rising Star Challenge winner from Friday night. And then not only that, like I said earlier, they got to play second. So like you play the world, which the international team was the best team by far. Like they had the three best players in the world. They had Jokic, Giannis, and SGA on the same team, and then Victor Wembanyama too. So like that team was easily the best. They get a much harder first game, and they have to play first, and then just sit on their ass twiddling their thumbs for like 45 minutes to an hour to get into the second game. So I think, though, when the game started going the way that it went, like it was clear that Steph Curry was going to get it. I don't think anybody else realistically deserved to get it from the way the two games unfolded. I have no problem with Steph getting it. And I mean, it was it's not just Steph. Like when a star is in their home building for an All-Star game, there's obviously some motivation, incentive from the player, from the fans, from the league to try to promote that player and see them have a good performance. So I'm not going to say that it was like outwardly rigged for Steph Curry, but
I would have given the MVP to Wembanyama. When I went back and broke down the footage, he was actually giving a lot of effort. I wonder if he'd gotten more playing time, or if his teammates would have given as much effort as him if they might have actually won. Which makes me want to talk about hold on. I want to say something. I see people in the chat talking about me not wanting to say what it is because I don't want to talk about rigged and things of that nature. Can you guys, once again, I'm so tired of fools throwing out the word rigged or willy-nilly, man. That's right. I brought out willy-nilly on y'all out there. Because can you guys prove anything? Where's the proof at? You show me the proof. Go bring it to the police, man. Go bring it to the front office, man. You got proof of rigged. You guys want to tell me what you think.
You're telling me what you think, your emotions. I saw someone put the Portland Trailblazers were up 15 points in the fourth quarter against the Lakers in 2000, the Western Conference Finals. Are you guys kidding me? Go watch that game. That's what we're talking about. They blew that game. Where was Scottie Pippen in that game? They were turning the ball over. They were goofing it up. That wasn't the referees, man. These guys got to make shots. I saw someone put something about the 3-1 comeback for the Cleveland Cavaliers and how it was scripted. So if you want to blame it on Draymond Green, blame it on Draymond Green. You want to say that was shady? Yeah, we can say Draymond Green's a bonehead. Once again, giving more credit to Steph Curry and the goofs he had to play with throughout his goddamn entire career. But let's think about that scenario. Even if it was rigged, quote unquote rigged, it came down to Kyrie Irving having to make a game-winning shot. No one could score in the end of that game in the fourth quarter. There was about 3 minutes where no one could score. There were no fouls being called. There were no referees giving the game to LeBron James. Kyrie Irving literally had to make a shot. So you're telling me that was scripted? Hey, man, well, at this moment, we know Kyrie Irving's going to knock this down against Steph Curry. No, these guys go out there and make plays, man. Do the referees maybe have something on the side? We've heard stories, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they make some calls. Guys got to make the free throws. Don't they got to go out there and knock these shots down? You can't predict what is going to happen in a sporting event at all given moments, man. It's life. It's sports, man. I don't want to hear about rigged. Oh, it's rigged. No, your team blew it, man. Robert Horry. I keep hearing about the Sacramento Kings series all the goddamn time. Robert Horry literally got a tip-out rebound and chucked up a three. He made that shot. That's not scripted. That's not rigged. That's Robert Horry making a shot.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore with that, by the way. That goes from a big football fan as well. I hate the Chiefs. I'm one of the card-carrying like 99% of the American population and probably global population that wanted to see them lose and have been hating on their run. But all I hear perpetually is people whining about the refs, whining about the calls. Like same with when the Patriots were making their dynastic run with Belichick and Brady. Like, oh, they cheat. Oh, they get all the calls. Listen, that is loser talk. Like maybe the league might somehow, some way have some kind of a feeling about what teams they want to see advance and get to a certain point, but the players still have to go play it out. Like the players are not incentivized in any way, shape, or form to play into any kind of a script or rigging. Like, what are you going to do? Maybe if these players were making $40,000 a year, someone could come in and be like, yo, how about a couple million to throw this game or to throw this series? What kind of incentive are you giving players making $50 million a year to affect outcomes of games? I mean, just stop it with this. Like, there's no such thing as rigging in pro sports. There just isn't. I understand that you see bad calls, but just get over it. Typically, the calls even out in the end.
Okay, that's a different show. The reffing makes the difference. A lot of times. I mean, it's the difference between history.
Listen.
LeBron gets
football,
every call known to man.
Well, but he's so bad that he still can't win with the refs.
Right? Football is one game. So one call in a football game, yes, it can have an impact. We get all that. But in a 7-game series, you cannot tell me that the referees are rigging the series, guys, and that the best actual team is not winning it. Come on,
really,
man.
when your stars are in foul trouble and aren't
ridiculous.
allowed to play defense, that definitely changes the game. When your stars are in foul trouble for phantom fouls, and the refs have basically told you we're not going to allow you to play defense, or the other team goes to the free throw line and you get sat on the bench, yeah, that does change the game.
You have to make adjustments, man. Once again, there's no excuses, AOH. It's on the players to adjust to these things. When you think about someone like Dennis Rodman and the things that he was doing out there on the court, once again, Dennis Rodman would have been thrown out of many of these games. But you know why he wasn't, AOH? Because he had a leader on his team that reeled him in. So, in turn, having that guy there kept him on the court. So when we talk about antics and guys and doing these things of that nature, you have to make adjustments. Michael Jordan adjusted. I got Dennis Rodman on my team. I have to adjust my leadership style now and be worried about this guy because we know Dennis Rodman's not adjusting his game. He's going to go out there and play. So Sean Kemp had to adjust his game in 1996 in the NBA Finals. Karl Malone had to adjust his game in 1997 and 1998. You have to make adjustments, man.
Third topic of the day. LeBron taking the team picture in street clothes. Big deal or not a big deal?
Who do you want?
Go ahead.
You want me to start with that?
Yeah.
it's just more of the same from him. Like, I don't think it's a big deal simply because I'm used to these things now, like 22 years in. I think he shouldn't have been in the picture at all. Like, if you're gonna deactivate, I don't really even care about the fact that he quote unquote took someone else's spot or whatever. But it's just the whole process of him waiting to the very last second. Like, just go away then, LeBron. Like, don't even come to the arena. Just leave the arena after your little press conference when you say you're not going to even be out there, and just go away. Like, don't
really
don't be introduced. Don't take the picture. Like,
yeah,
just get out of sight, out of mind.
If you think about it, that was Steph Curry's fault because he should have insisted on LeBron not being in that picture.
That would have been cool. Would that not have been awesome? If Steph
like that
Curry
would
was
ever
like,
work.
You don't
Like
want
that
to
would
play.
ever
You want to
work.
wait till the last second and say, get out of the picture. Wouldn't that be a great story?
How do you think that would go
start
down?
Building my love back for Steph Curry.
How do you think that would have gone down? I mean, everyone knows it's LeBron's league. Like, they've changed. You can't do anything. All right, Skap. Robin, big deal or not a big deal?
I mean, listen, for LeBron James, it's a big deal because it's LeBron James. And these are the kinds of things that we're talking about. He looks like a goof out there. I mentioned this earlier. You come out there with the street clothes on. And like I said, in that regard, like I said, a late scratch to the game when all these people voted you on and you don't show up. And like I said, you do that. So no one else can benefit. So yeah, to me, it was a big deal because it's more the same for LeBron James. More the same. I want to say one more thing too, because I see a lot of people in the chat, man, and they're pissing me off because you people have no idea what you're talking about, man. If everything was rigged the way you guys are saying, then how come LeBron James hasn't won an MVP in his 30s? Hasn't won MVP in his 30s. So it's rigged so much. He would have won at least one MVP, guys, right? How come LeBron James, we always say, hasn't won one real legit championship? He needs to stack all the odds in his favor. If it was rigged, he wouldn't need all this rigging. He wouldn't need, if it was that rigged, he wouldn't need all this help. The man can't win. He needs to get everything in his favor just to win a championship. That's what we're alluding to, guys. The man is an all defensive team in his 30s. If it was rigged, LeBron James gets everything. He would have done this. Now, do we say that he gets the favoritism, the foul calls, the whistles, the free throws? Absolutely. We've said that, but it doesn't mean it's rigged.
The Kenny's team in that last game, half of my montage, I don't know if you guys watched the opening of my video, but half of that montage of one-on-one basketball, ignoring the other all-stars out there, which to me takes away the whole point of seeing what all-stars working together can look like. But this isolation basketball and then missing 3-pointers, Kenny's team shot 12.5%. And then I thought about the promo before where the nobody from the stands won $100,000. And I thought that wasn't that different than watching the pros. Like, finally the guy made a shot and you cheered. And the rest of the time it's people missing. And Skap, in your previous video, I think you said that Mr. Beast, who I had to look up because I didn't know who it was, a YouTuber, was running interference. The guy had nothing interesting to say. Is that his first time on the microphone? I can't believe he's a YouTuber. He didn't say one clever thing, but he did seem to interfere with the shots to the point that Damian Lillard even moved in between him and the shooter. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. I actually put it in my video actually about the All-Star game that I was thinking it was reminding me when I was watching it of when Billy Hoyle is shooting off against Sidney Dean, and you've got that little dude with the big mouth talking about Sizzler all the time, and he's like literally like right in Billy's ear the whole time he's shooting. That's basically the vibe I was getting watching Mr. Beast interfere with that kid.
I saw that, but my question is, did you notice that Damian Lillard actually felt the need to step in between them at one point?
I didn't pick up on it during the game. I did hear someone else. I heard someone else talking about it, mentioning it. But I did not pick up on it during the actual telecast. And you raise a good point because Mr. Beast, I don't know, we're on YouTube. I don't know for anyone that doesn't know Mr. Beast. I really don't know much about him, but he is obviously like the preeminent YouTuber of all time. He makes, I don't know, like $80 million a month on YouTube.
Jesus.
And he was so absurdly unpolished. It seemed like when he
seemed like a very untalented person.
Yeah, I was actually shocked because I haven't seen much of him. I don't watch his videos. I don't follow him. I don't see what he's doing or wonder, what is Mr. Beast up to. I really know very little about him other than the fact he gets like hundreds of millions of views across like dozens of channels over a monthly span. And I was kind of surprised to see how untalented he looked on the mic during
When I
that.
saw that, I thought it was nepotism. I thought he was someone in the Warriors organization. Here's a microphone, see what you can do with it. And now that I know who he is, I'm guessing he actually funded this giveaway, and that's how he was able to be out there.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know, Robin, you have any thoughts on that, or did you just skip that part as you should have?
I don't want to bury Steph Curry more, but I've heard that it was his idea, by the way, to bring Mr. Beast. I'm just saying, I heard it was his plan.
Oh shit. So speaking of the terrible shooting, I think it's a little bit interesting that we've reached the point in the NBA, and maybe it was always this way, but like I've always had a problem with the fact that we're actually happy that people shoot 40%, or even 40% from three. Like if you guys go to the pickup court, at what point do you get sick of a guy taking a shot? How many shots does a guy have to miss before you're like, stop shooting the fucking ball? Do we have a higher standard for pickup games than pro games?
You asking me this question?
Yeah, no, he was just rhetorically musing. Look, AOH, I don't think it's any surprise to everybody out here. We're all a little bit older, I guess. I don't know if you guys still play. I work out 7 days a week, but I haven't touched a ball in probably a couple years now at this point. I think my biggest annoyance when I was playing still was just chuckers. Like I just hate, I didn't really care how many times people were missing. I just cared about the quality of the shot. Like I didn't like dudes playing. I love playing one-on-one when I was playing, but not in the context of a 5-on-5. So like I hate when dudes would just come down, over dribble the ball and fire up some garbage shot on the court. And that is pretty much my biggest pet peeve.
Well, right. Like I'm not big enough to play down low, but I play down low anyway. And you're supposed to reward the big man. I run the court, I cut, they could hit me for the open shot. And they're just playing ISO ball waiting to shoot the three. And I also have stopped even bothering going to the court. I'm like, I can get more exercise and entertainment just going for a run at this point. And when the All-Star game reminds me of that, that's a big problem. Go ahead, Robin.
No, I heard you guys. I'm sorry, I stepped off. I heard you guys talking about the 3-point percentages or the shooting of today's era and how it's not really that impressive to shoot 40%. I'm sorry, were you saying that or something about that, AOH?
Yeah. Well, my question was, at what point
I wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, I had a specific question. If when you play a pickup game, how many shots does a guy have to miss before you're like, stop shooting the effing ball?
Right, and I think that's kind of what I wanted to touch on, and that's an excellent point, AOH. And this is the thing when we talk about shooting percentages, and we talk about the different times of different eras and things of that nature. To me, shooting percentages are not something that you can translate from eras to eras. There are too many variables, for a shooting percentage to be compared from this player to that player, and their responsibilities on the team, and things of that nature. But when you talk about the shooting percentages, I often tell people on my channel the reason why when they tell you today the guys are more skilled because they can shoot better than the guys in the past. The reason why we laugh at that stuff is because the guys actually in the past actually had to be better shooters more consistently. And what do I mean? Well, let's think about an example here. Now today, guys will take, let's say they take 10 threes a game, right? Or this guy's taking 10 threes a game. So like you mentioned, AOH, to shoot 40% from three, you can miss 6 shots and still shoot 40% from three.
With no defense.
Right.
With no
defense.
Let's
think about some of the players that we grew up watching, some of the guys from previous eras. Let's say they were taking maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 3-pointers at most from the 3-point line. Now, how many shots can you miss now to shoot 40% from the field? All of a sudden now, you have to make more shots to shoot a higher percentage from the three-point line. You can't miss 6 shots if you only took 5, damn it. So once again, that person who missed 6 shots in that game still shot 40%.
I don't one day we'll have an episode where we acknowledge LeBron fans, and I'll let Robin and maybe I'll get 93 Zay on here because he's a convert from being a LeBron fan to actually talk to these LeBron fans. I'm just putting Lord LeBron on the screen so that it is forever etched in history. If you ever grow up, I want you to have to look back and see the types of things that you did, like naming your channel Lord LeBron and simply repeating what he said at that disgusting Eppies thing. I've never cheated the game. The guy who cheats more than any athlete ever combined just states, I didn't cheat the game, and therefore it must be true.
AOH, real quick, I just a minute here. I'm seeing a lot of comments scrolling by about how much cheating there is in the NBA still.
Oh, they're going crazy, Skap.
How rigged the league is. Listen, again, let me go back to my point on the NFL about how, look, it was a 2-week running pervasive narrative from the end of the conference championships to this Super Bowl about how the refs have rigged the last 3 playoff runs for the Kansas City Chiefs, about how the NFL wants the Chiefs to three-peat. For whatever reason, I don't know why 31 other owners would sign off on that and be like, oh yeah, great idea. I like the look of that script. Let's go ahead and give the Chiefs 3 straight Super Bowls. Anyway, do you want to know how the Eagles combated that? Even early on in the game, there was on the first drive, the Eagles had a 4th and 1, and they went for it around midfield. They got a big pass over the top to A.J. Brown to get down into scoring range. They were on the 15-yard line on the first drive to break the game open right off the kickoff. Offensive PI on Brown, went back. It was a 10-yard penalty. All of a sudden, the Eagles are punting. The Chiefs get the ball. And of course, the internet is going crazy. X is blowing up. Oh, the rig job is in. The Eagles beat their ass. That's how you combat it. That's how you stop it. You don't like the calls, or you're getting suspicious calls, or a couple calls here or there aren't going my way. Oh, they made 1 or 2 suspicious calls. Beat their ass. Handle your business. And then you take it out. You take it out of the officials' hands. So get out of here with the players play the games. Okay? I don't care what the mandate is from the league offices or the referees or whatever the hell kind of officiating going on. Play and beat them. Period. If you don't, if you leave it into 1-score game territory, then you get what you get. Sometimes those calls don't go against you. Sometimes they don't look so good.
That doesn't sound fair. When you go through an NBA season playing as many games as they did, the proper matchup that you want to see in the finals is games that come down to a couple of points, not blowouts. You're saying that the only way to overcome rigging is by blowing out someone who's supposed to be evenly matched with you?
Beating the team. Beat the team.
Man, there's
no excuses. Play
That's what
the
we're
game.
talking about. There's no excuses. You can always make, listen, I know, guys, I get it. We know there's things going on behind the scenes. There's money under the table. I get all of that. But there are no excuses. You cannot tell me today that every champion in the history of sports has an asterisk by it because everything is questionable now. Oh, you don't know. That guy got hurt. That was rigged, man. He slept with his mama the night before the game. This and that. You can tell me a story from the history of the dawn of sports, man. We get it, guys. But think about this also. Skap, you're big on Lamar Jackson. What do we talk about somebody with Lamar Jackson? Where the hell are you when it matters most? So if Kansas City's rigged, they're winning. Where's Lamar Jackson to show us Lamar Jackson? Where are we talking about? Yo, Lamar Jackson had to go out there and run for 200 yards on Kansas City to beat them. That's what these guys are doing. There are great plays in the history of sports, guys. Are we supposed to take away from all the greatness of guys stepping up and making shots in game sevens or guys making shots in last seconds because the games might have been rigged because there was some favoritism or they got some home cooking with the foul calls? You guys sound ridiculous, man. That's not the spirit of sports, man. That's not competition. All you guys trying, all I keep seeing is my name being thrown out in the chat because I'm not keeping it real and I'm a goof because I'm not talking about sports is not real. Do you guys not get what I'm saying? You can't use that as the excuse, man, to be like, oh, my team didn't win because they played the Chiefs, man. Get out of here. You didn't win because your team didn't show up and make plays.
Hey, Robin, since you're seeing the chats, are you help me out so I don't miss these super chat people. I got to give them their appreciation.
Yeah, you got a couple of super chats. I see one about one of the referees.
Shattered Glass says, guys, Tim Donaghy cost Phoenix and the Timberwolves a chance to get to the finals, especially Steve Nash's Stoudemire team. I watched them over and over. Like I said, we might have to do rigging as a separate episode, but we can circle back to that. I appreciate the
those guys left the bench, man. They left the bench. That's on them. See, there's the thing, man. We can make excuses. I get it. Steve Nash was a warrior for going through what he went through in 07, man. He was a warrior for taking that shot from Robert Horry, man, and still playing with the way he was busted up. Those guys left the bench. The rule stated, if you leave the bench area, you get ejected, suspended from the next. I mean, my God, man. What are we doing here?
That was Robert Horry's period where he was being negatively influenced by Kobe Bryant pulling that type of dirty crap. I'm gonna blame Kobe for Bynum's behavior too. Where was Steph Curry to put them all in their place?
You know what? I do want to say one more thing about Steph Curry. I'm seeing more comments about him too, and I'm getting very annoyed with them and with you, AOH, because here's why. You talk about yes, put that up. Look at the smolder on that. Look at the jawline. Look at the cheekbone height on that picture. My God. Anyway, listen. You talk about the fact that Steph Curry is totally unmatched. He had no chance of winning the titles if he didn't go and get Kevin Durant to join up. Let me remind you, in the 2015 finals that they lost, that score in Game 7 at the Oracle in Golden State was 89-89 with 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game. 89-89 with 4.5 to play. The final of that game, AOH, was 93-89.
Oh, I know.
It was 89-89, in fact, till there was 52 seconds left in the game when Kyrie Irving hit the game-winning shot. So the Golden State Warriors did not score a single basket in 4.5 minutes on their home court, while unanimous league MVP Steph Curry was shooting 1 of 6 in the fourth quarter for 3 points.
Skap, I
have never said this word on YouTube. Get the fuck out of here, AOH, and all these people on the chat talking about he needed to do it. He had to respond. How about you be the man that we're all supposed to think that you were when you won the unanimous MVP that year? How about you make one goddamn shot in the last 4.5 minutes?
Well, get out of here. That's why I said I'd rather the Thunder go. I was screaming at Steve Kerr to give Livingston the ball. But my point was, you made the point that the Warriors barely beat the Cavs when LeBron didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie. So I was using your own argument against you. You are, in fact, pointing out that maybe the Warriors never were all that. So why shouldn't a team that was overachieving
better, though, AOH? They were a young team. They got better. They won 73 games. He was the unanimous MVP, and they had the game. It was there for the taking. 4.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Make a basket, Steph Curry.
If it makes you feel better, I've never forgiven them for 2016. Whatever help the refs gave or didn't give, I've never forgiven them for 2016.
And see, this is a full circle. It comes full circle to what Robin and I have been saying. Probably yes. Draymond should not have been suspended. That was bullshit. Obviously, it affected the outcome of that series to some degree with him not being there in Game 5. Ultimately, though, it was there in Game 7. You were on your home court. The game was tied. You're supposed to be this generational player, Steph Curry. You're supposed to be the back-to-back league MVP who was by unanimous selection that very year. You won 73 games that season. Make a shot. And then we're not talking about the refs. And then you're not flying to New York and then going to the Hamptons to grovel on your hands and knees and beg Kevin Durant to come join. And then we have a real alpha player. We have a real all-time great to combat LeBron. But it didn't go that way. And that's why Steph Curry's a Weasley little coward, just like LeBron, in my book.
But
Again,
AOH,
you can't call Durant an alpha if he just was defeated by someone else
He's
who wasn't
not.
an alpha. But he
He's
just got
not.
defeated by a non-alpha.
I'm not
right?
saying that Durant's an alpha. None of them are. That's the problem. We didn't have any alphas in 2010 to 2020. We had these weaselly little cowards like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James colluding and crawling on their hands and knees to other people's cities, begging other all-time greats to come help them. It was a grotesque display of whatever you want to call it. I won't even refer to it as basketball, but that's how we got there in 2010 to 2020 because of LeBron and because no one stood in LeBron's way, because LeBron did it and no one stopped him. And that is Steph Curry's fault because he is supposed to have been the other best player of that time and he didn't do it. He couldn't. So he went and just joined it and it sucks. And that's why the NBA sucks right now.
Yo, AOH, I don't know if the people out there, once again, I see you, some of you clowns out here in the chat, once again, who couldn't shine my shoes when it comes to this basketball thing. When we're talking about Steph Curry, and they're talking about the Cavs were going to win it or whatever, let's not forget, I don't know if you guys remember, in Game 7, late in that fourth quarter, if you guys remember, Steph Curry did a behind-the-back pass to Klay Thompson, who was wide open, and Steph Curry threw it out of bounds. A behind-the-back pass right out of bounds. He did essentially the LeBron James in this Game 7, the fourth quarter of an NBA Finals. Was that rigged? It was rigged for Steph Curry to go behind the back and attempt to do that pass in that moment. And everyone in the broadcast, everyone was like, why is Steph Curry doing a careless pass like that in that moment? We were scratching our heads. That was Steph Curry just doing that. That had nothing to do with the referees. That had nothing to do with Adam Silver and all these other goofs out here, man. That was Steph Curry just doing a play in a moment for whatever reason, and he threw it out of bounds, man, in a big-time moment. That was part of the reason why no one could score at the end of that damn game for like 3 consecutive minutes. Once again, how was that rigged? If it was that rigged, when LeBron James blocks Andre Iguodala, it's actually a goaltending. It's actually goaltending, man. The goaltends on the play, man. So what are we talking about here?
Isn't that an argument that it is rigged if they didn't call the goaltend? Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I want to get to our last topic, or at least the last topic I have down, and then we can kind of free for all it. I unfortunately listened to The Odd Couple while I was jogging. I was running out of content, and whoever that guy is that co-hosts with Rob Parker, what's his name?
Nick Wright. Is that who you're talking about?
No, it's close.
Chris Broussard?
No, on the guy who replaced Broussard. They got some new youngster who's a LeBron jock sniffer.
Oh man, I don't even. I don't
watch them, man. I like Rob Parker, but I don't know about. I didn't know they had a new thing.
Yeah. No, he basically does the same thing Broussard did. Represent the soft side, but so they were in fact criticizing LeBron for pulling out last minute and for taking the pictures in the street clothes and all that. But this guy. See, now I'm acting like the mainstream media by not being prepared with the actual name. So I guess if they get away with it, I can get away with it. They once again threw out all those compliments to LeBron before criticizing, saying, LeBron, you're the statesman, you're the ambassador of the league. You usually, whenever the microphone's in front of you, you say the right thing. And I'm so tired of the burden being on me or us to do the research and show you all the clips and quotes of LeBron James just being an embarrassment. I want to put the burden of proof on the LeBron clan. Tell me what he has said on the microphone that was ever inspiring. I mean, the list of him being embarrassing is much greater. Why do these guys, all of them across the board, continue to pretend like LeBron James represents the NBA in a positive manner? Most of us can't stand his antics. Like, how, I know you guys are on my side on this, but if you stretch your imaginations, can you picture LeBron James saying the right thing when he was needed to say the right thing?
No.
The All-Star game would be a great example. The league is falling apart. He's the face of the league. He's the statesman. What's he do? In his full-blown egomaniac moment, you could tell that he was enjoying announcing that he wasn't going to play. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing anything from me. I'm surprised he didn't add, unfortunately for you, like he did at the ESPYs. Unfortunately for you guys, you won't be able to enjoy the game as much because I've decided to sit out with discomfort in my vaginal soreness. And okay, please, LeBron fans, I know you don't have any evidence because all you do is repeat Nick Wright, etc. But if you can provide some evidence of LeBron James ever being a statesman or a respectable face for the league, that'd be great. In fact, one of the things people bring up a lot is how embarrassing his take on the whole China controversy was. Was that being a statesman?
I mean, one of my earlier moments with LeBron, I think, where I never look, I give these players the benefit of the doubt. Like I might feel a little bit of a way about them when they come in, but like LeBron came in he was the next great player. Like I want him to be great. Like I want him to succeed. I want to like these players. I obviously the decision was really the big nail in his coffin, like leaving to go to Miami, the way he did, the way he announced it, the fact that he was teaming with Dwayne Wade, who to me at the time was the next best player other than him and Kobe at the time. But remember when they were choking away that finals against the Mavericks, and there was a question, I'm paraphrasing now, to LeBron that was like, LeBron, how does it make you feel that people are relishing in your failures, essentially, like enjoying you fail? And his answer was, well, whatever, like they're going to have to go back to their lives, their shitty lives that they hate. I'm still living the dream. I'm rich. I'm like a rich athlete. Like I get to go and like love my life. Like congratulations for feeling good for one day or something. What a tone deaf, pathetic response that was. Like that is just so utterly embarrassing that someone that was back-to-back league MVP at the time, supposedly like an up and coming ambassador for the sport of basketball, that was his take and that was his answer. So he's been doing it. And how old was he then? 26, 27. He's been doing it for his whole life. Like he's not going to change now. This is who he is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's just one in a very, very long list of LeBron James saying the exact wrong thing and a league always forgiving him, always finding a way to push it under the carpet. And not only do they push it under the carpet, they have the nerve to then turn around and pretend like he always says the right thing. I mean, goddamn. I'm honestly,
AOH, man.
One example. I just want one example of him saying the right thing. 22 fucking years. Can I have one example of him saying the right thing?
But like we talked about, it's not just him. Like you mentioned, when we talk on these channels, man, I mention oftentimes class, honor, to speak with class, to carry yourself with honor, to be honorable. So when we listen to a lot of these guys speak, these guys just don't know how to speak, man. It's not just LeBron James. These guys are a bunch of goofs. That's one of the things that Kobe Bryant took from Michael Jordan. If you listen to Kobe Bryant speak, if you close your eyes, you might think you're listening to Michael Jordan. A lot of the mannerisms that Michael Jordan had, Kobe Bryant took from Michael Jordan. Why? Not just because he wanted to be like Mike, because he understood that Michael Jordan was always viewed as a classy and honorable individual. He always spoke with integrity. You never heard Michael Jordan throwing F-bombs and cursing all over the place. A lot of these guys, MF for this, yo, bro, man, bro. They talk like a bunch of goofs, man. And when you mention someone like LeBron James telling us, the common folk out there, to go back to our boring lives because some people wanted him to lose an NBA Finals, dude, you got to be kidding me. LeBron James made the weak move, but doesn't want any flack for that. See, Kevin Durant, the same way. They want to make these decisions and get no criticism. That's not how the world works, my man. If you're going to take all the money, then you got to take some of the bad. What do they say? More money, more problems, man. So which one is it going to be? Either give the money away and become one of the common folks like us, or take the money and deal with what people talk about you because you're a public figure, man. LeBron James does not know how to speak. And the problem why it's even worse for someone like LeBron James, who opened up a school, by the way, right? The guy who can't even speak in public, but you've been in the league for all of these years, and every time you speak, you make it about yourself. So how really, good are you going to sound as far as it being an ambassador for the league when everything's about yourself? Shout out to Uncut Hoops.
Speam Engine is really loving your quotes today. He's quoting you all of it. Speam, do you want to come on? Speam, do you want to join us for a minute? I'll throw it up there. I actually made it through my list. I mean, we've all broken down the All-Star game so many times by now. There's not that much left other than to be redundant, which isn't the problem because I'm sure people are still just absolutely disgusted by what happened. Oh, Robin, I had a quick question. Did you I saw that Dreamers Pro gave you a super chat in Nigerian dollars. Are they based in Nigeria?
I believe that's where he's from originally. I'm not sure where they're based. I think they move around, whatever, but I think that's originally where he's from.
AOH, while we wait on Speam, I just last comment, and I'm gonna put the Steph Curry thing to bed.
Oh God, fucking Christ.
I'm not gonna yell about it. Last comment. People think I hate Steph Curry. Again, I'm disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in what he did. I'm disappointed in the decision he made. I expected that out of LeBron James. I did not expect it out of Steph Curry. While LeBron James, we knew who he was. We knew what his tactic was from the time he made the decision on. He was going to try to gravy train his way to rings. So we needed a force to oppose it and to reset the league and to do it the right way. And I thought that Steph Curry could be that guy. And he failed me. He let me down with a weak, gutless decision. So it's not that I hate Steph Curry. It's that I'm thoroughly disappointed with what he did. And it basically really was the feather that broke the camel's back, so to speak, and really kicked the destruction of the NBA into overdrive when that Kevin Durant decision was made. And I see people talking about he was hurt in 2016. His ankle was hurt. He wasn't the same. He wasn't right. All the more reason to then say in the press conference afterwards, that was on me. I wasn't healthy. I didn't shoot well. Like, that loss is on me. I'm going to get better. I'm going to come back hungrier. I'm going to work harder in the summer, and I'm going to come back and right that wrong. Instead, he got on a plane and he flew and he brought Kevin Durant on, and it sucked. It just sucked. It was terrible. And it ruined the league.
It would have been nice if he would have had a Kyrie or a Kevin Love to throw the ball to.
People want to know why I hate Steph Curry or whatever. It's not hate. It's disappointment. And to hear, and what I do hate, what does annoy me and aggravate me are idiots. And yes, I am calling you an idiot out there if you have Steph Curry over Kobe Bryant. So it annoys me when I hear idiots put Steph Curry over Kobe Bryant now, especially seeing what he did there with that Kevin Durant decision. Kobe Bryant wouldn't be caught dead doing that in his prime, flying across the country to recruit another like top 2 or 3 player in the league at that time.
Steph Curry disappointed me as well. The Warriors disappointed me. All I'm saying is don't put his face next to LeBron James.
Steph Curry above LeBron James all time. That's all that matters at the end of the day. At the end of the show, that's all you guys need to remember. Steph Curry above LeBron James all time. And I have to say one more thing about this word "rig," man. When you use that word,
I know. Come on, let's move on.
When we talk about that word, man, I always tell you guys, LeBron James gets help from the referees. He gets help. If it was rigged, he would be winning championships every season, guys. If it was rigged, it's not rigged. He gets help from the referees. We all agree on that. But if it was rigged, the man would have been winning MVPs every year. He'd be in the finals every year. It's not rigged, guys. Goodness gracious.
So, Skap, are you going to disrespect Jokic's ring against the Heat as much as you disrespect Curry's 2022 ring?
Go look. First of all, look at the run. Compare the runs. Like, you can say the records were what the records were. He played Minnesota in the first round. Jokic did with a healthy Anthony Edwards and the whole supporting cast. Whatever, he beat that. That was his first round opponent. His second round opponent was Kevin Durant and Booker on the Suns. And then his Western Conference Finals opponent was Anthony Davis and LeBron James in the West Finals. That is a much more difficult run than Steph Curry's 2022 run was. Much more difficult. Now, yes, the Celtics, the finals opponent was better for Curry than the Heat were not anywhere near on the Celtics level. But the Heat were only there in Jokic's final because they beat the Celtics, because the Celtics do what the Celtics do back then. They choke and throw up all over themselves like they choked and laid down for Curry in the finals. They choked and laid down for the Heat, and the Heat got in and Jokic won that finals. Point two on that run, though. Jokic had Jamal Murray as his secondary player. Like, Curry had all-star Andrew Wiggins. Basically, Andrew Wiggins was the second best player on that 2022 run, who was an all-star that year. Jamal Murray'd never been an all-star. And then Klay Thompson was, I guess, the third best player then on that run. And then you have Draymond Green, who, say what you will about him, I can't stand him. He is a basketball Hall of Famer too. So yeah, the run was better for Jokic, and he had less help. So, and then also here's the final third point on that. I'm the one that's saying Jokic needs more help, not him. Jokic has never asked for help. He never wants to get rid of the players he has. He's never begging for this shit. He's never recruiting elite players to come join up with him. That's what Steph Curry did. So,
Okay,
yeah, I
Spain,
will
you're
continue to defend Jokic.
Spain, did you
What up, gentlemen?
Yeah, I see you're
Hey,
loving
what up,
Robin
man?
today.
Hey, I'm only here because you invited me. I want to again just reiterate how handsome Skap is. Also, I want to defend Robin a little bit because I'm seeing a lot actually about him and Skap in the chat. These two I can speak for are so far from clutch representatives. Uh, it's absurd to even think that they are. I think we're living in times where we have this recency bias, right? Where just because somebody switches their opinion in the last couple of weeks, maybe last few weeks, last few months, that doesn't change the argument in itself. Just because Robin's sitting here saying that it's not rigged, even though I don't agree, that doesn't make him a clutch representative. Just because Skap is a lot of stuff, that doesn't make him a clutch representative. We're in these times now where we don't go back and look at people's histories in terms of behaviors and patterns. So that whole thing confuses me. All-Star Weekend was a waste. Mr. Beast is a waste. Scappy does not make $80 million a month. His teeth are fake. But what else? What else we got?
Listen, man. So everybody out there, if everything is rigged, sports are rigged. Okay, let's go with that premise. I don't know what I'm talking about. Everything is rigged. Sports is rigged, guys. That means that Bill Russell's 11 championships, they were rigged, guys. He only won because they were rigged. He didn't go out there and give the effort. He didn't hustle Bill Russell. He didn't go out there and go and play against all the racism and all the hate and put his body on the line and deal with all that. He didn't do any of that. It was all rigged, Bill Russell. That's why he won all those championships. Michael
Robin, can
Jordan, this
I
guy
respond
right
to that when you're
here,
done?
he's 6-0 because it was all rigged, guys. He didn't need to score 41 points a game in the 1993 finals to beat the Phoenix Suns when they both scored the exact same amount of points. He didn't need to hit a game-time shot to send a game in overtime in 1991 in Game 3. He didn't need to do any of those things. He didn't need to be Michael Jordan to win those championships, guys. All the hard work he put in, it didn't mean anything because it was all rigged. You guys sound like a bunch of clowns, man.
Real quick, Robin, just to respond, because I saw somebody put it in the chat, but I didn't see what your response was. What was your response to Tim Donaghy then?
Once again, I've said this many, many times. I'm not saying that there hasn't been times in sports history where guys have been shady, things have been done. But what I'm telling you right now is in these situations, can you name me a time where a championship was won because of the referee Donaghy? He made a champion. No, these guys went out there and made plays. These guys made shots. Once again, so, okay, they got 20 foul calls more than the other team in that game. So you're telling me that that means that they're going to make all of those free throws? That's going to guarantee they win the game? No, it doesn't mean they're going to win the game. Maybe they win the game. Does that mean they're going to win the series? No. Once again, guys, when you go down that road, then how can you root for any sport ever in the history of the world? How can you legitimize any win? I can easily say, well, I don't know about that referee in that game, or hey, man, how did they get more foul calls? We've all said LeBron James has got the benefit of the doubt many times. You could go in the books and look at it. But once again, he hasn't won any championships, guys. I saw someone write in the chat, how does LeBron James make it to 8 straight NBA finals if it wasn't rigged? We always laugh about that. He was in the weakest conference in the history of the game, and he needed a super team to do it, guys. He didn't do it with nobody. He did it with a stacked team. That's how he did it, guys, not rigging.
And also, just to switch gears, did you guys touch on the whole Rich
Freaking
Paul
ridiculous,
thing?
man. It's like I'm
Not
talking to my
knowing.
brother's kids or something.
Did you guys get into the whole Rich Paul not
Idiots out
knowing
here.
about the trade, saying he didn't know about the trade until it happened, the AD trade?
I mean, that was like several episodes ago.
Excuse the shit out of me for having a life.
Oh, yeah.
And for anybody that's asking, the definition of a straw man argument, because I'm seeing that in the chat, and I do think it's a fantastic point. It's when you take an argument and you pick the most extreme version of it to justify your point. I don't know what the premise was of that, but yeah.
I'm actually a little disappointed with you dismissing the reffing like that, Robin. There's no way if you were playing in a league And there was that sort of a difference in the reffing for the other team, the way there is for LeBron's team, that you're not leaving that game blaming the refs. You are.
I know, but
Come
anyways,
on.
all I'm saying, all I want to ask is how many championships has LeBron James won that we said were legit championships? What have we been saying? He needs to stack the odds in his favor. He literally is building super teams to win. He's not relying just on the referees to carry his team. We get all of that. Listen, man, I'm keeping it real here, guys. I'm not making an excuse and giving these guys an easy excuse. Oh, I didn't win a championship. We didn't beat the Lakers in 2000 because it was rigged. No, because they were freaking that good and they needed guys making plays. I don't get this.
Well, Shaq was that good.
Robert Horry had hit one of the big clutch shots in the history of the game for them to win a game in that series, guys. Did he not? That was Vlade Divac's fault. Why didn't Vlade Divac grab the rebound? Why did Vlade Divac tip it out?
Hey.
Was it rigged? It was rigged. They told him to tip it out.
Robin, by the way, real quick, Robin, they were down. The Lakers were down 24 points in the second half in that game. By the way,
Yeah, that was terrible.
like,
I blame the coach
game.
on that.
You're up 24. If they won that game, they would have had a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, and I was yelling at the coach.
And game 5 and 7 in Arco with a 3-1 lead. If you
Why
don't
did they allow
a 24-point lead in the second half, win the game.
Why did they let Kobe come down and chuck all those 3-pointers in a row? Just foul his ass and the game's over. Foul him.
If it was rigged,
no, I'm serious. He
why
made
did
a bunch of 3-pointers.
2004 Lakers win the championship over the Detroit Pistons if it was rigged. They didn't let Karl Malone get a championship before it right off into the sunset. They didn't want to help none of these guys out. No, it wasn't rigged. They got their asses whooped out there, man. Got their asses whooped, guys.
Someone named Kobe 247 is in the call room. You guys ready to handle calls?
They're all coming after me today. Let's do it.
By the way, Skap, I was saying Kobe actually closed that gap by making a bunch of threes. I'm not talking about his first playoffs where he airballed him. I'm saying foul the motherfucker and send him to the free throw line. And that's the difference in the 1 point that ended up being the difference in the game. Stop letting him shoot those threes. Actually, Slim Shady was first. Slim, have a specific question for these guys ready, please.
What's up, guys? Long time no see. I don't know if you guys remember me.
Yeah.
So pleasure again once being on this live panel. I kind of want to like bring up the fact that we do live in recency bias, and I think that is a factor. I also think that like there are gonna be like moments in series that will be defined as like crappy calls at crappy times, and that's life. But it's like I just think that it's kind of like well, you can point to that really for any sort of circumstance, really. And I just think that it's just a dumb logical thing, like it's like it's to me it's like we kind of go down with the whole like hypothetical thing and whatnot. It's just like that's like why like I'm gonna shout out Jim, self-research NBA Facts. I think that he does a great job with kind of identifying like the circumstances and whatnot. He'll give you the full context. I think that there are moments where sports can be questionable, but I also don't think that like if it really was like I do think that it's also a thing that
that was actually really good, and thanks for shouting out Jim. Jim had a great bit the other day about how LeBron in the East was able to beat all these number one rankers in the East and then get destroyed in the finals, which you gotta wonder, in my opinion. My takeaway from that was, Jesus, how bad was the East when they're the best in the East gets destroyed in sweeps in the West? What else? Yeah, Robin, a lot of that was directed to you. You want to respond?
Well, no, I mean, once again, you're talking about the East and the West. I think that's a another plus for Steph Curry. He didn't get to play in that weak East his whole career like LeBron James did. So, this is part of the reason why I put Steph Curry above LeBron James, as of, a couple of days ago. And he's going to be there for the remainder until I'm dead, man. And by the way, the chat's going, man, I'm going to kill myself soon because these people are going to make me go crazy. And I'm going to lose it on them.
You said go crazy. All right.
Let's see. Let's let Kobe in. He probably has something that Skap will like. Kobe 247.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, welcome to the
What's
show.
up?
What's happening? I'll got something to say. So in 2007, when the LeBron got into the finals against the Spurs and got swept, he had trouble with the Spurs, but Kobe ended up beating the Spurs that year, 2008, I think it was, when Kobe beat the Spurs. 2009, LeBron lost to the Magic, and then Kobe ended up beating the Magic in the finals. I felt like the NBA had a problem that they couldn't let LeBron couldn't win in the finals. So I heard Gilbert Arenas say that the NBA gave him the championship in 2012.
Yeah.
I'm not into conspiracies, but I just see that all the teams LeBron was struggling against, Kobe ended up beating, and they had a big problem because they were pushing LeBron to be like the greatest of all time, and he couldn't win by himself. So he was struggling against the teams that Kobe was dismantling. And as soon as LeBron James beats the OKC Thunder, I heard Gilbert Arenas say the NBA gave him that championship because the Spurs, who they beat in the Western Conference, was beating the young Thunder, and they were a young team. They had good players, but they didn't know how to win. So I felt like the NBA gave him that championship in 2012 after he got beaten. After Jason Terry, was it Jason Terry who outscored him off the bench?
Yes.
So yeah,
he was
I
the
thought
fifth
NBA had a
leading
problem
scorer.
Yeah, they had a problem. They were pushing a player that couldn't beat, like he couldn't get over the top and win championships. So they just had to give him that championship. And I heard Gilbert Arenas say that the NBA plotted and gave him that championship in 2012.
Thank you, Kobe. And Gilbert did say that. And even though I started breaking down 2012 and it looks shady to me, but there I go blaming the refs again. So we'll skip that. But unfortunately, you don't know whether or not Gilbert means it or if he's just trying to get clicks. So, but I don't. How much time have you guys spent looking at that 2012? Which, by the way, was another shortened. That was what was that? A lockout?
Yeah, there was a really questionable call in the one, and I think it was game 2 down the stretch.
Man.
But I mean, come on,
Listen, the Oklahoma City Thunder won the first game in the Western Conference Finals that year against the Spurs. So the Spurs beat the first game handedly. And then they lost 4 games in a row, the Spurs. So are we supposed to say, it was rigged because they wanted OKC in the finals, but it was rigged for them to lose the finals? See, man, it's insane. Once again, how are you people fans of sports? You guys this is cynicism at best, man. You guys sound ridiculous, man.
The only thing I would say is, again, I'm still with Robin on this all the way. The only thing I would say in terms of rigging by league interference for LeBron in that time frame, which, look, I hate the team ups. I'm on the record as saying that. But the Lakers made that trade for Chris Paul that summer after LeBron. I believe it was in the summer of between 2011 2012. So LeBron loses that finals to the Mavericks, and then the Lakers get Chris Paul to team with Kobe. Actually, Chris Paul ends up becoming first team All-NBA the next year. Kobe was first team NBA the next year. I think LeBron doesn't win. Kobe probably wins rings 6 and maybe 7 if that trade went through. So I think the league did LeBron kind of a favor because he couldn't win already. He was already struggling to win. So the league didn't want any parts of Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant on the same court. I think probably the Lakers would have beaten LeBron in the finals, which would have really cleared up this Kobe-LeBron debate a little bit more if LeBron had one fewer ring and Kobe had one more, and one of them was head-to-head against LeBron. So I am kind of a little frustrated that matchup never came to fruition.
I'm so baffled by everybody in the chat. All of you guys that are watching our show, I'm confused by you guys. You guys don't make any sense to me. I want you guys to tell me the year the NBA became rigged to you. You guys love to use the word rigged. You guys have no idea what the word rigged means, man. You guys are just throwing the word out there. The rig means the outcome is already predicted. The outcome's already predicted, man. The outcomes are not predicted in these games. If you want to tell me there's some shadiness going on, okay, I get it. It's gambling involved. But you guys tell me what year the NBA became rigged in your mind. So once again, are we saying that Bill Russell's era doesn't count either? What year are we discrediting, guys? When did the rigging start for you? You guys sound ridiculous, man. No
Let me
one's
read
saying
some
that
super chats.
sports are 100% all natural and everything is on the up and up all the time. But you guys sound like a bunch of cynical fools. I see some clowns in there talking about the government. Once again, I'm a combat veteran. I fought for this country. You think I fought for the government? I fought for all the laws and everything out there that holds. What? I fought for this country because what this country's done for me and all the people that I love in this country, man. So once again, what are you fools talking about? You guys don't know a damn thing out there. You're talking about rigged. Tell me what year it was rigged. I want to know what year the NBA became rigged for you guys. We'll put an asterisk behind everything.
All right.
AOH, read some super chats.
Hey,
you
Robin.
Yeah, we
Robin.
need to get to some super chats.
Robin, thank you for your service.
Oh yeah, thank you for your service,
No,
bro. I
thank
didn't know
you
that.
all. I love everybody out there. Everybody in the chat, I love you guys too, man.
All right, we got to limit how much energy we give to the chats. There's always going to be some crap over there.
I'll see Andrew. He sees my pain, sitting here awkward as hell.
Isn't Bronny just taking up a roster spot for a guy like Mac McClung? Well, I don't know if Mac McClung would have filled it, but how the hell does Bronny have 11 more games played than Mac? Oh, there's your next season. Mac McClung versus Bronny 1-on-1. Who wants to see that?
I
You
don't.
might be onto something here.
They won't.
That
do
wouldn't
it,
even
though.
be an entertaining game.
You got to be an alpha to be willing to play 1-on-1, which is why LeBron James says it's not real basketball. Another one of the dumbest things ever said by a human being, and he gets the credit for it. The statesman of the league.
AOH, I just rewatched that interview last night when he was talking about how all the kids just want to play. Let's play once. He did this weird mockery of it, and I thought to myself, I don't see kids playing 1-on-1 all like that unless it's on YouTube. So him saying that was just a way to like kind of take away from 1-on-1 ball, and nobody even goes back and asks him about this stuff or doubles back and questions him about it. I didn't watch too much of the after show of the All-Star game, but did anybody ask him why he waited till day of to call out?
Well, no, nobody's gonna. No, they were too busy sucking them off.
See, that's my issue. Is there are no longer people in the media that will question him publicly unless it's something like the All-Star game. Like you got Shannon Sharp and Kendrick Perkins saying it wasn't right, but they always end those statements with how great he is. It's not even like a real commentary on how fucked up it was, because it's just praising him in a back door.
Skap, you look like you want to talk, or shall I let a caller in?
Oh, we can let it. Yeah, we can let a caller in.
Hey, callers, just be aware. I keep it succinct, and if you don't keep it succinct, I'm going to find a good stopping point so that this panel can respond to you.
He means it. He shuts me up all the time.
Oh, not nearly enough. What are you still doing on here? Anyways, Haas is on.
Okay, AOH, I love you, brother, but you cannot cut me off. You understand me? I'm an attorney. It takes me a little while to develop my point. I'm asking you politely not to cut my mic. You understand me?
That doesn't sound polite.
I love you, brother, with all my heart. I got to respond to Robin, Sports and Fitness Rants. That's Robin, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I would respectfully disagree with you that rigging has to determine the outcome. I would slightly alter that definition, that rigging injects a major thumb on the scale. So if you put a major thumb on the scale, but it doesn't necessarily decide the outcome, that's still rigging. Let me give you an example of this, and this is not talked about enough, so I need to get this out in the public, okay? Now, just like CEOs have a long-term business plan, okay, Adam Silver had a long-term business plan with LeBron. Okay, Adam Silver had decided around 2008, 2009, 2010 that LeBron James was going to be his golden ticket to become one of the greatest commissioners of all time and be better than Adam Stern, or better than David Stern. So here's what Adam Silver did, okay? First of all, they agreed that LeBron James would join the Heat in 2010, okay? Then, while LeBron James was on the Miami Heat, the 4 years he was on the Miami Heat, the Cleveland Cavaliers got 3 overall #1 picks to pave the way, grease the skids, so that LeBron James could go back to the Cavs and have a super team already stacked up for him when he went back to the Cavs 3 or 4 years later. Okay, so the Cavs got 3 overall #1 picks. That is like a probability. I computed it out. It's like 1 in 13,000 chance of that happening, and that's even taking into account like all the percentage chance they would win the lottery. And keep in mind, they took the ping pong balls off the stage so that only Ernst & Young was allowed to see what was going on back there. And guess what? Ernst & Young's a private accounting firm. They're a private company. You don't think they could get paid off? Of course Ernst & Young could get paid off. Any private company can arrange with another private company, the NBA, to pay each other off to grease the skids. Now, let me say one more thing. I'm not done yet, okay? Then when LeBron was on the Cavs, from 2014 to 2018, guess what happened? Okay, LeBron had already purchased a home in Los Angeles. He already announced that when he was in Miami, that he had purchased a home in Los Angeles. So what happened when LeBron was in Cleveland and they maxed out all the contracts, gave Tristan Thompson the insane, ridiculous deal they gave him? The Cavs were not going to be able to pay anybody after 2018. But guess what happened? The Los Angeles Lakers, from 2014 to 2018, got 3 overall #2 picks in a row. Not #1 picks like the Cavs, because that would make it too obvious, right? But the Lakers got 3 overall #2 draft picks in a row. That was, again, to grease the skids for LeBron to go to Los Angeles, get that trade for Anthony Davis, and grease the skids again. This whole sequence was Adam Silver making LeBron James his golden ticket to be the greatest commissioner of all time and ride LeBron all the way to the bank. And they greased the skids for LeBron for a decade straight, bro. That's what happened. The ping pong balls were behind the scenes. Ernst & Young got paid off, and they rigged the league for LeBron James for 3 #1 overall picks for the Cavs, 3 overall #2 picks for the Lakers, and LeBron James had stacked up teams for a damn near decade. He only got 4 rings out of it. LeBron James was supposed to get 10 rings. Adam Silver wanted that motherfucker to have 10 rings after it's all said and done.
You just killed your whole
Hey,
argument
Robin.
at the end here. And
Robin.
I'm going to tell you why, my man. And I
Robin,
appreciate
did you order the
passion.
code red, Robin? Did you order the code red?
Let me go here. Once again, you're getting confused between
Coke
rigged
red.
and scripted. If you want to tell me that this stuff is scripted, okay, I'm with you on the scripted. But what does the script do? Things go off script. Other things happen, right? They have to change and edit the script because LeBron James jacked up the script many, many times. So that whole rant you gave about, rigged, you're completely off. Rigged is determining the outcome of something. You gave us a whole analogy for scripted. Yes, LeBron James and Adam Silver, they may have scripted all of this stuff, but you negated yourself. Now let's think about what he said. Hold on, AOH. Let me keep cooking here. Let's go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He talked about 3 consecutive #1 draft picks. Okay, who are these draft picks? The draft picks were Kyrie Irving, Anthony Bennett, and Andrew Wiggins. Does anybody know what happened to Anthony Bennett? Do you guys remember Anthony Bennett playing in the NBA? Do you remember his career? Because I sure as hell don't. We all remember Kyrie Irving. Do you guys remember Andrew Wiggins playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers? I don't remember him playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And why is that? Because LeBron James demanded a trade from the Minnesota Timberwolves for Andrew Wiggins. He made the management do that. That's part of his script. So once again, that's not the NBA rigging the draft picks to help LeBron James. He didn't want those draft picks. So now let's go back to Los Angeles Lakers. You talked about the draft picks the Lakers had. Once again, you're reading a script. You're talking about scripted. Let's think of the Lakers. They needed Anthony Davis to request a trade off of his team just for him to be relevant and win. Because he wasn't winning the damn thing in LA. He wasn't winning with Lonzo Ball. So once again, the script might have been there, but LeBron James went off script because LeBron James always goes off script. That's what we always talk about, guys. He always needs all this help. So you talked about not rigged, you talked about scripted.
Right. So what Robin is saying is that LeBron fucks up his own riggings.
No, his script. He messes the script up. He fumbles the script, AOH. If it was rigged, he would win no matter what. There would be no way to beat him.
All right.
That's the point I'm making, guys. He can't win but a bubble championship. It's not rigged.
But Haas, I think that you brought it. I thought you had some great points. I think we're
absolutely.
I think we're beating around. If it's predetermined, the outcome will be the same no matter what is what you're you're sticking to, right, Robin? So
no, I'm not sticking to anything, AOH. I gave you the facts. When you use the word rigged, hey man, it's rigged against me. That means you can't win. No matter what you do, it's rigged against
what I'm
you
saying.
to win. Not
That's what I
that
said.
the odds are against you. It's rigged against you. You can't win. This is not Rocky versus Ivan Drago. That wasn't rigged. And the odds were against him in that one.
I thank you for the super chat from CSUR Power, giving us the definition of succinct. We will all try to adhere to that definition. Got more callers, but you guys got anything else to say, or you got the energy for more callers?
Yeah, you can let someone else on. My dog is requesting to go outside, but I could probably hang out. I could hang out for another caller here, I think.
Okay. Mike, what happened to your video?
Hey guys, hey guys, thanks for letting me on. And I want to apologize. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Mike.
Yep.
I definitely want to apologize for the chat, man. It's went completely deranged in the chat. I'm not sure what's going on with these folks, man, attacking you, Skap and
maybe
Robin
Steph
with the.
Curry can fix it.
I think he might. I think he could move. I think he can move back to 3-point line about 5 feet, and that'll just fix everything. But honestly, I just want to jump on here about this rig. I don't know how that we got on this rigging shit, but I just want to talk about the rigging real quick. Two quick points I want to make. If we're talking about rigging when in terms of winning games, right? Then of course I know a bunch of people said in the chat. I'm just going to reiterate. LeBron, why would LeBron be 4-10? It makes no sense. If they're really rigging games, why wouldn't they just make him into the greatest basketball player of all time? I don't understand the point of that. And then also, if we're talking about in terms of money and Vegas and refs rigging games to get paid and all that good stuff, there's 80 games in a season. You can literally rig half the season and then leave the other half to not rig, and Vegas will get paid. I spend about $6 to $8 a day just on FanDuel and all that crap. Trust me, there's millions of people that are doing what I'm doing. They're not hurting for any money, guys. So why just destroy the integrity of the game for that reason? It makes no sense.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah, great call. I mean, look, what is this now? Year 23 for LeBron? Is that what it is?
22.
4 titles in 22 years. This dude would have like 12 titles by now if we were rigging for him with how long he's played, how good his teams were, how weak his conferences were. Like, you still have to go out and execute. You still have to go out and play. And LeBron has choked routinely throughout the course of his career, and other teams have outperformed him. Other teams have gone out there.
Let's create our own word for it. It was meant for him to become the greatest, and he still fucked it up. The odds are stacked in his favor. Let's come up with our own word for what that
You can
is.
say it was influenced, because I think it's rigged, but I think rigged and influenced are one and the same. I think you can influence a game, but I also think it's rigging. Every player on the court has to play ball, for lack of a better term, though. So it's not like, if I'm John Morant and the Grizzlies and there's this that's out, I'm not letting LeBron and the Lakers get away with that.
Haas
you know what I mean?
Haas is still waiting. Haas is waiting for round 2. Are we ready for round 2 of Haas?
These guys won't let it go, man.
This is the first time I've ever disagreed with Robin on anything.
You guys are not making any sense, man. You guys literally make no sense. So what does rigging mean then? What does rigging mean? These guys wrote the definition of rigging in the chat, and they literally contradicted themselves.
Okay, we're all better.
Educating me. You guys contradict yourselves. It says control the outcome of. What? I don't understand it. You're not controlling the outcome. Like I said, if you're telling me that helping LeBron James, they're scripting all this for him, maybe so. But then how come he's not winning any championships? How come he's not winning any MVPs if it's all? And once again, like I said, when are we going to stop it? Are we going to stop it with just LeBron James? Only for LeBron James is rigged. It wasn't rigged for Bill Russell. It wasn't rigged for Joe Montana or Babe Ruth. It was rigged for no one else in the history of sports. Just the guys today, just LeBron James guys. It's not rigged for anybody.
And, I think and don't forget about the Chiefs too. Rigged for them too.
We're all better than to keep worrying about semantics and a definition.
You might have to define semantics for some of these.
All right. Haas, round 2.
Okay, listen, Robin, I love you, brother. I love you with all my heart. You probably love like Michael Jordan more than I do. And Michael Jordan, to me, is the closest embodiment to perfection in a human being. Now, let me explain this. Okay, I'm just going to read off the definition, Merriam-Webster, for the word rigged. Okay, it says to manage or conduct fraudulently so as to produce a result or situation that is advantageous to a particular person. It doesn't mean the out. You're wrong, Robin. In this case, you're wrong. It's being advantageous to a particular person. Now, the word you use, scripted, that's what the WWE is. The WWE is scripted. The WWE is scripted because the WWE operates like a Hollywood movie. They have a script.
The results,
they read the lines.
Where are the results?
Excuse
me.
Where
are the results?
This just in.
I'm starting the definition. The definition of rigged and from the dictionary says advantageous. It doesn't say outcome determinative.
You said advantageous in the results. I'm asking where the results.
They're on the results. I said the definition says to fraudulently to produce a result, to produce a result. Listen carefully.
I'm gonna ask you one question. I'm gonna let you go.
I'm going to read it one more time. To manage or conduct.
You name me
Robin,
the champion in NBA history that is a fraudulent champion.
I'm going to read it one more time.
The fraudulent champion that was a fraudulent result.
Listen carefully. To manage or conduct fraudulently so as to produce a result or situation that is advantageous to a particular person.
My God.
Doesn't mean that's a matter of degree. That doesn't mean 100% on the sliding scale. It could be 80%. It could be 75%. It doesn't have to be 100% outcome determinative. Now,
I'm asking you one simple question.
The bottom line,
a dictionary response. Great for you, my man. You can read. I hear that. I'm asking you one simple question. You name me the champion in NBA's history that was a fraudulent result because of rigging. I want you to name it.
Okay, 2016, when Adam Silver and Kiki Vandeweghe...
name another one.
Hold on 1 second. Let me finish. When Adam Silver and Kiki Vandeweghe changed the call on Draymond Green after the game to suspend him from Game 5, which spotted a road win to the Cavs. Never before in history had a road win been spotted to a team to allow them to win the NBA Finals the way Game 5 in 2016 was spotted to the Cavs by banning the other team's top 3 player. Now, that's one. Number 2, I just told you, the entire 4 years LeBron was on the Cavs is because the Cavs got 3 overall number 1 picks. LeBron's success on the Lakers is simply because the Lakers were gifted 3 overall number 2 picks. Now, the reason they gave them 3 overall picks is because not every pick is going to be Michael Jordan, you jackass. Not every pick is. Of course, they got Anthony Bennett. That's why they gave them 3 instead of 2. Not every pick is going to cash in. Robin, you're going too much on semantics. You got to take the overall.
All right, I muted both of them. Where the jackass one did it. I actually thought you had a good argument with the using the actual definition there, but Skap Attack's dog needs a walk. I got up at 5 a.m. to give my dogs 2 runs before I even got on here. Skap, please run your dogs.
Hey, AOH.
Yes.
My little bestie here has already had a 2.5 mile walk earlier. She requires 4.5 to 5 miles per day, though, unfortunately.
Okay. This just in, I'm starting a new channel in which Haas and Robin go back and forth at each other. I mean, that's enough for its own channel. Haas, I love it. I don't know if you're as good looking as Spim Engine is, but we might be able to market you into Skap Attack, Van Damme up there. But I appreciate it.
AOH, I think Haas might be the state's prosecuting attorney in My Cousin Vinny. Can we get confirmation that they're the same person?
Listen, we got hung up on what the definition is, and he brought it. I got to give him that.
Look at that picture. My goodness.
Once again, he made my argument. He brought up LeBron James as the only rigging in NBA's history. Thank you very much.
Skap, you need to go, right? Should we just say a graceful goodbye?
Yeah, I think I gotta go. She's bugging me a lot right now. I really enjoyed being on again with you guys. Robin, great being on with you here in more of an intimate setting than we typically are. I know most people are probably used to Robin and I disagreeing. We're out here on the ledge together on this one. We're out here getting flambasted and roasted all over the comment section about how we're so naive and blah 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 on here, Robin. I'm with you. I'll ride with you on to the end on this one. I just will never ever blame officiating on championship runs. Like it could affect it in some way, shape, or form. Ultimately, the players decide. Ultimately, that's the bottom line to me.
Steam Engine, you wanna, I got some comments in here that looked like Skap Attack was at a dentist waiting room, and you also look like, are you in like a airline super lounge? Oh, I muted you. My bad.
Yeah, take away my voice. Thank you. No, I'm at Panera, just trying to get some work done. Also, you were right. The attraction is based on me, not Skap. But Skap, I am literally in the middle of photoshopping your name onto Bloodsport and Lionheart covers. So I apologize ahead of time.
Get on that Balco for the Bloodsport too.
Yep. Well, that's why he works out. That's why he works out 7 days a week and walks his dog for 30 miles a day.
Exactly.
I don't know. Speam, if you do me a favor, any of you guys, you see some super chats that I missed? I've got this glitch over here. It keeps jumping around, so it's hard for me to find anything, but I don't want to disrespect anyone. I want to appreciate everybody that tuned in, and I want to appreciate those that give a little bit extra with the super chats. And it was fun.
Somebody just sent one in, I think.
There was a big one that just came in, yeah.
I don't know. But Skap, don't feel bad to go walk your dog while we're doing this. We appreciated you being here. We should try and do this more often. I know Robin can't usually do the weekday. This was a special week. That's why we put together a special show today. Thank you, Sports and Fitness, for bringing the energy on a Wednesday morning for the Hump Day, special edition of Hump Day. And these fools can't shine your shoes, right? Was that what the quote was? That Steam Engine put in the comments?
They're goofs. The goofs can't shine their shoes.
The goofs. The goofs.
The gaggle of goofs out here, man.
The gaggle of goofs. I'm glad you saw that, bro.
Chat, I know you guys love me, man. That's why you guys... Listen, my name came up more in the chat than anyone else's name in the history of chat, man. You guys know you guys are legit fans of mine. You guys love my content. You love what I got to say. You guys can say whatever you want. That's why you guys are here to listen. You guys were here 2 hours ago commenting on me, and you're still here commenting on me because you guys want to hear what I got to say because I got the facts for you, man. Yeah, we don't agree on everything, man. Remember that. But once again, I remain consistent. You guys know the deal, man.
I still don't see that super chat. I'll get to you guys in a separate episode, making it up to you. Thanks everybody for coming through. Haas, good stuff. Thank you also. And thanks everybody.